Hey guys, good to have you back this week. And for the fussy but necessary, if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button and notification bell if you haven't already to help me keep this channel going. Alright, the book is The Exorcism of Anneliese Michel, and the movie is The Exorcism of Emily Rose. The only movie ever to really keep me awake at night without the use of skeletons. I tell you what, if I were alone in a room with someone and I wake up to them all contorted on the floor like this, and then their jaw just snaps open like some kind of deep-sea predator, I think I would need a diaper at that moment. Anyway, the movie is mainly about the trial of the accused priest and his agnostic lawyer changing her stripes and becoming a true believer. The scary stuff pertaining to the demonic possession and exorcism is mostly just backstory. The book covers the history of the Michel family, mainly Anneliese, her illnesses, possession, and exorcism, her death, and the trial of the priest and her parents for negligent homicide. The book also detailed how an exorcism is done. Get the demons to identify themselves first, then get them out. What the book and the movie have primarily in common is all the details of really the two greatest ongoing mysteries of the world: the complexity and depth of the human brain, and the unseeable spiritual world. How this very well could have been possession, or just as plausibly been a pileup of mental illnesses. What the book and the movie secondarily have in common is the victim and her family. Church-going, blue-collar, salt-of-the-earth people, and their oldest daughter's dream of going to college to launch a teaching career, interrupted and cut short by this nightmare that ultimately killed her. Her nice boyfriend who never left her side, her medical diagnosis of epilepsy that was never really controlled by medication, leading to the clerical diagnosis of possession. What's different between the book and the movie is the length of time this really went on for Anneliese. In the movie, it seems like from start to finish, this possession ran its course and killed her off in a matter of weeks when she was just 19. In the book, this was a slow burn, on and off nightmare that started when she was 16 and ended with her death at 23. The onset of this whole thing began for Anneliese when she was hit with tuberculosis and pleurisy when she was still in high school. And she had to spend a year in isolation in a sanitarium. And this was back in the 70s when those diseases were still largely uncontrolled, and being quarantined was no joke. This year spent in quarantine caused her to fall behind with everything she had going on, and she became depressed. It was after the onset of this depression that she began to see demonic faces, like in the movie. She also began to smell burn and rot where there wasn't any. And she would try to make visits to church and other holy places in Europe, especially Rome, and be physically unable to visit said places. She never stopped seeing doctors for her issues, and she underwent a number of exorcisms, still attended college and passed exams and dissertations before the final onslaught peaked and completely finished her. The dramatic effects in the movie that actually happened according to the book include the onset of possession seeming to be when she was in bed and it felt like someone was sitting on her. Her pupils fully dilating while her body and face twisted and contorted. Eating bugs, biting drywall, screaming for hours on end, and self-injuring. What was excluded from the movie was her drinking urine off the floor and going streaking. The most shocking thing of both the book and the movie is the roll call of possessing demons. The movie lists off Cain, the first murderer, Judas the betrayer, the cruel Emperor Nero, Legion and Belial, whoever they are, and Lucifer, the fallen angel. In the book, they identify Lucifer, Nero, Judas, Cain, Adolf Hitler, and a disgraced priest named Fleischmann. The last 50 pages of the book detail all the medical science and theory behind Anneliese's possession, illnesses, and how she probably could have gotten past this and lived had she not been on and off her anticonvulsant medication. There's even an autopsy finding that there was no damage done to her brain that would cause seizures. All of this was used as the expert testimony in the movie. Finally, the movie ends with some afterthoughts, specifically a book written by the defense attorney Aaron Bruner. Not true. The expert witness, Dr. Adani, who in the movie is the religious anthropologist, is based on the real-life professor of religious anthropology who wrote The Exorcism of Anneliese Michel. And to give a little more depth to the history behind the story, I'm going to be including a link to the post on the blog, The Lineup, that includes audio of the exorcism and her speaking, well, these demons speaking through her. And it really is trip balls creepy, just, fair warning. And that is all for this week. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you back next week for Revolutionary Road.